Below, circled in different colors for illustration purposes, the Quran in chapter 91, verses 1 to 4, gives the impression there are four distinct celestial phenomena that impacts the earth. These are the sun, the moon, the day and the night. It says, by the sun and its brightness, and the moon as it follows it, and the day as it unveils it, and the night as it conceals it. The moon does not follow the sun, by the way. Quran 21:33 mentions each of these again separately and how they each follow an orbit. And He is the one who created the day and the night, the sun and the moon, each swimming in an orbit. Notice there is no mention in the Quran about the earth following the sun in an orbit, which would have been more scientifically accurate. Again in Quran 16:12, it says, He has subjugated for you the day and the night, and the sun and the moon, and the stars are subservient by His command. This last verse includes stars. However, the sun is just one of countless trillions of stars in the universe. As just shown, when the Quran talks about Allah creating the night and the day, it seems to imply that they are distinct and mutually exclusive. However, the night is simply the absence of sunlight. It is not a separate entity, as on Earth, when half the world is day, the other half is night. This is due to the Earth revolving around the sun. The day and night may be distinct and mutually exclusive in a flat Earth model, as not only do the verses give no indication that the Earth revolves around the Sun, it suggests that the Sun revolves in an orbit around the Earth. The reality is that day and night are not distinct because there are times, such as the dawn and dusk, when the night and day are not defined because they are overlapping, notwithstanding eclipses, which will be mentioned in another video. Here is a simulation of what happens to create day and night, which the Quran gives no indication of. Quranic ideas about the night and the day seem to come from Aristotelian science rather than modern science. Aristotle held the theory that the sun was stuck in concentric spheres around the earth, and that these spheres rotated around a stationary earth. This not only explained night and day, but also eclipses. This figure illustrates the ordering of the spheres to which the sun and the moon and the visible planets were attached. The diagram is not to scale, and the planets are aligned for convenience in the illustration. Generally, they were distributed around the spheres. Quranic ideas about the night and day being distinct phenomenon has its roots within antiquity, as ancient cultures believed that day and night were separate entities. For example, in ancient Egypt, they believed day occurred due to the deity Ra, from which the English term sun ray comes from. The English word sun shares an etymological root from the Latin sol and Germanic son. Ra represented the sun who first created daylight. The night was caused when Ra died every sun set, which gave darkness throughout the world. Set is an Egyptian god, an adversary and rival of Ra. Similar accounts are found in ancient Mesopotamian cultures, with Sumerian being just one of them. This time it was the sun god Shamash who repeatedly rises from the east on foot or on chariot. Night is created when he travels to the underworld by descending in the west, thus creating darkness and night. Incidentally, the Arabic word for sun is Shams, which is derived from the name of the Sumerian deity. The ancient Greeks believed day occurred when the sun god rode across the sky in a chariot. For them, the night was produced by another deity, which will be explained next. Due to ancient beliefs about day and night as separate entities, many common terms, such as the English word day, is derived etymologically from the name of the divine Sky Father, a figure that originated within the Vedic Indian culture from around 1500 BC. In Greek, this figure came to be known as Zeus, the original All-Father of the gods, who was believed to be responsible for the brightness of the sky. Words such as deity, divine, Dio, Deus, and Theos are all cognates. Night, in Greek mythology, was a goddess and a personification of night. This is where the English term night comes from. In Hebrew, the word for night is Layla, which is the same for the Arabic. Layla was an angel within Jewish mythology. This is explained by the first century rabbi Yohanan ben Zakkai. He was the main contributor to the core text of rabbinical Judaism, the Mishnah, also known as the Oral Torah. Terms such as Lilith, a demonic figure whose name also originates from the term Layla. In Sanskrit, the term Leela is an ancient Vedic concept denoting playful chaos or action by which the divine god acts and creates. In Hebrew, the term for day, specifically daylight, is Nahar, which is also the Arabic word for daylight. The word Nahar comes from Yam Nahar, the god of the sea in the pantheon of ancient Canaanite and Phoenicians. The Old Semitic word Yem meant sea, a word that is also found in the Quran to mean sea. The term Yom in Hebrew means day as in 24 hours. In Arabic it is Yom, as Yam Nahar was the deity of the seas. Both in Hebrew and Arabic, Nahar also came to mean river from the trilateral letters Nahara. Now, a hadith will be looked at to understand what the Quran actually means by night and day. In Sahih al-Bukhari 1145, it says, Allah's Messenger said, Our Lord, the Blessed, the Superior, comes every night down on the nearest heaven to us when the last third of the night remains, saying, Is there anyone to invoke me so that I may respond to invocation? Is there anyone to ask me so that I may grant him his request? Is there anyone seeking my forgiveness so that I may forgive him? This means in the year 2021, with Muslims living all over the globe, and no doubt some will be praying at night and invoking Allah, bearing in mind at some point on earth where there is night, the other half is day. So according to this hadith, it means Allah never gets the chance to get back to the highest heaven. He is forever stuck at the lowest or nearest heaven due to having to listen to a Muslim's invocation somewhere on earth. It is evident the Quran, along with the hadith, did not know that day and night occurred due to the rotation of earth about its axis whilst revolving around the sun, and when half the earth is in day, the other half is at night. Some apologists have used a verb found in Quran 39:5, yukawwir, which means to wrap or coils, to claim that the earth is spherical in the way the night coils itself around the earth. The verse reads, He created the heavens and the earth for just purpose. He wraps, yukawwir, the night over the day, and he wraps, yukawwir, the day over the night, and he has put the sun and the moon under his command, each one of them moving for an appointed term. Remember, he is the mighty, the most forgiving. However, the early Muslim scholars and Quran commentators did not believe that the word yukawwir proved the earth as spherical from this verse. For example, Mujahid ibn Jabr, one of the earliest and first commentators of the Quran, says about the verse that it means, underlined in red, the night turns into day and the day turns into night. The Arabic word he used to explain yukawwir was the verb yadhur, to turn, which can also mean to overcome, encapsulate, falling from top to bottom, or even impair, as it implies change with time. It comes from the root verb dahara. Quran chapter 76 is called by this term, as in the time. The chapter's other name is Al-Insan, human. Others, such as Zamakhshari, Baidawi, Jalalain, etc., did not translate or extrapolate from Quran verse 39:5, Yukawwir, to mean a spherical earth. For example, At-Tafsir al-Kabir by Arazi explained the verse in relation to other Quranic verses, which is a scholarly way of deduction. He says Yukawwir here means to cover, Yughshi, by quoting Quran 7:54. He covers, Yughshi, the day with the night, this pursues it swiftly. He created the sun and the moon and the stars, subjugated to his command. He then quotes another verse to explain that it can also mean enter, Yulij, by citing Quran 35:13. He makes the night enter, Yulij, into the day, and makes the day enter, Yulij, into the night, and he has subjugated the sun and the moon. Each one of them is running towards an appointed time. Qurtubi agrees with Arazi and quotes the same Quranic verses to explain the meaning of Quran 39:5. As evidenced within previous videos, there are even modern Muslim scholars whose understanding from the Quran and Hadith say Muslims must reject the notion that the earth is spherical and it ever revolving around the sun. Although the Quran is not explicit in its evidence about the spherical nature of the earth and its rotation around the sun, although modern apologists claim it is, Pythagoras, who died in 495 BC, believed that the earth, the moon, and other heavenly bodies were spherical. Philaeus introduced the concept that the earth is in motion around the sun. He is credited with the earliest known discussion of concepts in the development of heliocentrism. This is 900 years before the Quran. Although he believed in a geocentric worldview, Aristotle did, however, affirm the sphericity of the earth. The point is, these humans, Greek philosophers, polymaths, all did so in far more detail and more clearly than the Quran or Allah ever does hundreds of years later. So in conclusion, the Quran talks about the sun, moon, night and day as separate entities. But the night and day are products of the movement of the earth around the sun and the moon around the earth. The Quran makes no reference to this. This is because the Quranic understanding seems to be a derivation of Aristotelian science rather than modern science. Further, night is simply the absence of the sun's light on earth, and day is sunlight as a result of the earth's rotation around the sun. They are not separate or mutually exclusive as the hadith shows. There are times when there is an overlap, such as dusk and dawn, when neither time can be called day or night. In ancient times, they viewed the day and night as separate entities caused by a deity of the day or night. Many terms, whether in English or Semitic, originate from pagan cognates for deities. Modern Muslim apologists have tried to use certain verbs such as yukawwir in Quran chapter 39 to say it means the earth is spherical. However, earlier commentaries never derived this conclusion, nor some modern day scholars. Ancient Greek philosophers and polymaths understood and explained the planetary motions and its shape better than the Quran long before Muhammad and Islam.